Pitch Shift, by the way.
No, you didn't tell me that before.
Welcome to Pitch Shift, the only show where sometimes we're already just in the start of a conversation when we start recording. I guess that's totally unlike Red Letter Media and other things where they just start off in the middle of a conversation. We're so unique.
Yeah, no, we're just two guys drinking beer and talking about movies and stuff. That's never been done on the internet before.
Well, that's if I take my teeth out.
Oh, now we're boomers.
But, I already forgot the story I was going to tell you.
Great.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Pitch Shift, the only show where I do the intro twice, because I forgot what I was talking about the first time. Will I leave all that in? We'll find out.
Probably.
Hello everybody, and goodbye to 2020.
Fucking cheers, mate. I'm not to that.
We'll be going live a little bit later, and, not by the time you're watching this, but we will have been live previously.
We'll have Bin Laden on the show.
And I guess maybe we'll find... Does that stay archived? I don't fucking know. I think they do. But anyway, so I should be close to this. We've got so many mics, but I'm still just so paranoid all the time.
We got so many mics, and it's gonna ride a trike.
Well, it's because like the last episode, I would just start talking. It's like this. So I'd start talking about the audio. I'm like, so that implies the audio will be better this episode.
It'll be so great.
It was not. Happy Christmas. That was our Christmas special.
You're welcome.
It didn't do the thing last time where my dad was watching TV, and because of where we had the cameras placed, it's my old phones, my current phone, and an actual camera, but where we had it placed, you could just hear the episodes of Monk my dad is watching in the background at some points. I'm really happy we didn't get copyright struck for that, because you could also watch our Fright Night 2 commentary, which is now up, because we got claimed for that.
We did. And that was supposed to be on Christmas, and now it's finally up on New Year's.
Yeah,
very timely.
We're always ahead of the curve. The scary movie that probably would have been better if we did it on Halloween.
Yeah.
But that's the joke on my channel, is I never do. I really just want to do a Christmas movie video in like March. But so we got blocked for that, and I did take the movie's audio file and like distort it and put it in the background just to give it like some consistency, so you could kind of hear and you'd be able to match it up when you listen to it. But I intentionally distorted it to make it sound like it was far away and all this stuff. And I'm like, we're not gonna get marked for this, because I didn't even get marked for the episode. Immediately blocked worldwide, which shows me, here's a tip to all you YouTubers out there who want to review something that is on Content ID. Use 6-second clips. Because it seems that's about what the Content ID recognizes, like past that. So like even in the longer scenes that I use, since that movie's edited so shit anyway, I do want to start specifying, because I don't want to be misleading, but it's also, it's just it's super easy, and it doesn't really affect much unless you really want to show the editing of something, then brave the copyright claim for that. But yeah, use 6-second clips. And other than that, you should take no YouTube advice from us.
Yeah. You
see our views. But, so, do we want to lay out... Oh, yeah, and Merry Pitchmas, by the way. This is officially what we are calling Pitchmas Hangover, because at the start of this month, I'm like, we could do 4 Pitchmas episodes. And then it occurred to me, one of those would probably, Christmas will have already passed. So we're doing Pitchmas Hangover. And as you do with a hangover, you drink
to fucking get rid of it. Yeah
that's how it works. Dog. And then we'll eat some beef. Hey, Paul, can I get you anything? Beef. Really? I thought you and Linda were strict vegetarians. Okay, here's some beef for Paul McCartney.
Yeah, we'll be drinking more beef eater later.
If you need something to watch, this is an entirely separate thing from our recommendations at the end. Go watch those old videos of Weird Al cutting together interviews where he'll match the background and everything and make it seem like he was there.
What a fucking legend.
There's so many of those. You're just like, what were they saying originally? Because the Avril Lavigne one, he's like, hey, do you think you could take off your clothes and put them up in the rafters up there? And she says, yeah, you can take off my clothes and put them up there. It's just like, what did she say in the real? What were they talking about?
What did he say?
Well, what do you think about these prices, Jack? But Yes, so it feels good to finally be done with this year, because I know you and me have both had ups and downs this year. So we'll get more into that.
I always have downs.
Yes, well, we'll get more into that in the live show. Yeah, dude, that was like that for a reason.
Oh.
But that works. But yeah, so what we mainly want to do with this episode is just give you a quick little recap of us losing our goddamn minds the other night, because we watched 2 movies.
Technically, like 2.5.
Was it half? How long was that? It felt like it was long, but so we watched. I'll say we watched 2 movies, and that's being generous, calling those movies. We watched 2 movies, and we watched a few minutes of something like a Windows 98 screensaver that made me lose my goddamn mind. But we'll get more into that. We'll start off where we started in the evening. 2 of these were something we already attempted to watch. Actually, all 3 were, but I guess I had just blocked one of them out of my memory. And so we decided to try and live on our Christmas spirit and watch a movie called Elfette.
Elfette Saves Christmas.
Elfette Saves Christmas, as if there's any reason to give it a subtitle like there's going to be more of those.
Elfette kills the infidels for Ramadan.
Elfette's crazy Kwanzaa. But,
what the fuck is Kwanzaa?
I gotta hand out the Kwanzaa books. So basically, we watched this, and what we had previously seen starts off very much as just, what if Elf was a female? And also, what if everybody in Elf was also the same height as Will Ferrell's character, and it wasn't jarring that like one of them just sticks out so much? So they quickly abandon that, and then it becomes a movie about the head of a toy company or the mob. I think specifically they're called the Christmas Mafia, if I remember correctly. And they kidnap Santa.
Who's black, and he lives in the fucking Jersey suburbs.
Yeah, he just lives in a normal house. Like, and it's one, like, that was an interesting detail where it's like, oh, they have a black Santa, that's interesting. But then Mrs. Claus not only is white, but
is, like,
she's
super
also
young.
like a child.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many questions. Like, she just, and to my recollection, she just shows up towards the end. I don't think we meet her until then, do we?
Well, yeah, we might have, because we watched like the first 10. Excuse me. I don't have Wu-Tang flu. That's smoker's cough.
No, that's the creators of Elfette poisoning you.
Yes. This movie does damage in the form of -1 poison counters. So. Okay, so we watched.
Listen to Poison.
You're poison running. That's Alice Cooper. Anyway,
it's better than Poison.
So much better.
Oh, okay, I didn't see where your lava was.
My where's my lava lamp?
For a minute, I thought you had just haphazardly shoved it down your shirt. It was just gonna be just nothing but just the sound of your chest hair or scabies.
Yeah, just well, why not both? Yeah, no.
Porque no los dos.
I shoved the mic into my shirt pocket, Frito shirt pocket.
Oh yeah, the Fritos are still in there.
And then it's just constantly just like TV static. Okay, so we watched the first 10 minutes. We talked about this an episode or 2 ago. We watched the first 10 minutes.
Talking about something we talked about in a previous.
No. No. It's no.
Who is popular now? Paul.
You suck. You have to marry your mother-in-law.
Do it, marry your mother-in-law. But yeah, so we
watched the first 10 minutes of Elfette. I was just over. What were we watching? Like The Boys or something?
I think so.
We might have been watching The Boys.
Was there a third person with us?
I don't think so. We subjected Kyle to Goat Story. That was a different.
Yes.
No, that's it. We got done watching Cube.
Oh, that's.
Like you came over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because Kyle was there for that.
No, he wasn't.
I said it and then I remembered.
We said it and forget it. So we watched Cube. I was watching Cube because we were gonna do the Cube / Phoenix Jones episode, and then we stumbled across Elfette. Well, first it was like Elf Bowling.
Yeah, we watched Elf Bowling, which someone on Twitter has posted screenshots of, and apparently there's just a part where they sing a song about how much they love slavery.
Hell yeah.
So we have to watch that at some point.
The South Pole will rise again. So we watched a bit of that where Santa's like a pirate or some shit, and then we tried to watch Elfette for 10 minutes, and they're like, we're gonna watch that some other time, and then we watched it another time, and then we also got a snippet of Wizard So-So.
Yes. Well, we should.
Let's get Wizard So-So out of the way.
Well, is there anything that we want to immediately say that's interesting about Elfette? I honestly think that Elfette following Wizard So-So did it a disservice, because we had already seen Andy the Hedgehog, which we'll get to, but like that's a fever dream in itself where you can't hear jack shit. And then we get to Wizard So-So, and we see the greatest thing ever. And then, I was in tears. And I couldn't breathe. That's a dangerous thing to have on there during these times when people are short of breath. That's going to kill some people.
It fucking killed you.
It almost did. Well, I mean, it emotionally did. That happens like once a week. But
that was not a cause, but an effect.
But, yeah, fuck it. Well, maybe we'll circle back to anything interesting about Elfette, but let's just talk about Wizard So-So, because for whatever reason, that was another thing that we did start watching a little bit of, so we kind of missed something when we came back. But I don't know if we met the wizard, and I don't even know if his name is So-So for the answer. Maybe that's a description of his abilities. But I don't know if we met this wizard prior, but to our knowledge, the movie starts with a farmer or somebody coming to a place that I think he does business in but does not own.
It's Farmer Ted's shack. It's a big sign that says Farmer Ted's shack, keep out.
And then
a guy just goes in with driving a cart, and he's just like, oh, this guy's gonna fuck up Farmer Ted's shack, but that's Farmer Ted, and he pets a cat, and he's like, good cat,
he's
and
like,
he goes
good
away.
cat, and then he goes into his place, and then he finds out that all his food's been eaten by rats. All his food's been partially eaten by rats.
These rats are fucking cunts. They take one bite out of each fucking thing. Like, they take a bite out of sausage, one singular bite out of cheese. He's like, no, my cheese.
Not all my cheese and sausages that I sell.
Yeah.
And then he yells at the cat. He's like, you're a bad cat. And he acts like he can have a conversation with this cat, but the cat never really responds.
Yeah, the cat doesn't say anything. He just kind of looks sad.
And then he's like, I'm going to come back later, and you have better have dealt with these rats. And then he leaves.
He's like, what do I feed you for? I feed you, and this is how you repay me? You don't take care of the rats?
I remember when he said that, I just immediately says like, well, there's your problem. That's why he's not eating the rats.
Just starve this fucking cat and he'll eat anything. He'll probably eat the food, then they'll definitely have to kill him.
Weren't you listening to the villain, what's his name? Javier Bardem plays in Skyfall. He's like, oh, you do take the coconut and you make him eat the coconut. And then you
take the lime and the coconut.
And then they eat the rat. And then they only eat rats. And then you send them out to eat all the rats. You just don't feed the cat and then show him a rat and he'll be like, that's food. But more importantly, the cat's a pussy.
Yeah.
Because he has knives in his hands. He's a cat. Like, cats are terrifying when you think about it. But he does nothing to, these rats just bully him.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, get out of here. You get out of here.
Get on out of here. His ultimate fucking finishing move is that he stacks the rats on top of each other and he steps on them.
Bad rats. Yeah. His finishing move is he plays bad rats.
Yeah.
But
hey, you guys want to play bad rats with me? And then he gives it to them on scene. Like, this game fucking sucks. And they just fucking DDoS his account.
Well, there's the part where they're all the rats are all just standing there. If I remember correctly, they're all just standing there mocking him until he leaves.
Yeah.
And it's like that part in that Diplo video where they're like, "No, you come dance with us." No, I'm not dancing. But and then the cat's like, "Okay, I'll dance," and then he kicks all of them in the face because that's what dancing is. But then the best part of the movie, for all intents and purposes, the only part, because we didn't watch much after this.
You're playing it right back here, right?
Yes, hopefully. And hopefully we don't get sued by whatever AI made that. But, so, there is what feels like a 5-minute musical number with no words, where these rats just play a song.
The head rat is like, hey, let's celebrate, everyone. And they just all bring out instruments, and they do not sync up well with the music at all.
They don't sync up well, and they just keep, like, there's like 3 of them, but then they just keep adding more instruments. It's like, who's playing these? But, and it keeps cutting back to them.
And it cuts to the cat, like, watching them just dunk on him from the outside of the barn.
You hear it off in the distance when he's just watching them. It's the saddest goddamn thing I've ever seen.
And he was watching it for the full 5 minutes.
And then he goes to find the wizard, and the wizard's like, oh, I hope you cat. And they cut back, and they're still playing the goddamn song. I guess the movie's about how that wizard's gonna help that cat defeat those fucking asshole rats.
I think it's called Wizard So-So because the wizard's actual main plot is like so-so, but the cat's plot is awesome.
That was a description of the movie. Wizard So-So. More so cat and asshole rats. So, Wizard So-So, that's about all we watched to that.
Yeah.
Because we got to that, and I was already laughing my ass off because I just all sense stopped applying. And then you said, man, they were really happy to get rid of that cat. And that just broke me again.
They were fucking yucking it up, dude. They made a whole song about it.
They just improvised it. They're like, oh, well, let's play the song we play when the cat's gone.
Well, I said it about minute 4 into the 5-minute song.
Whoever made Wizard So-So, you're a creative genius.
Yeah, all right, in my book. I'll fucking nut to that, bro.
But, so...
Was that before or after we watched? What did we watch before that? We had to have watched Andy the Talking Hedgehog first.
It was Andy the Talking Hedgehog, and then it was Wizard So-So, and then it was Elfette.
All right, so let's fucking get it, just raw dog it right into Andy the Talking Hedgehog, shall we?
Well, before we do that, we must do the customary Pitchmas exchanging of present. I think I put it on the armrest behind you there.
Oh, shit. You put my present that I was going to give to you on the armrest. You're
yes.
so thoughtful.
Yes, I'm a very considerate gift giver. And so this is how you traditionally do it at the handing over of the Pitchmas gifts.
You open yours first, Andy. I put a lot of thought into this one.
Okay, perfect. This it's so considerate of Steve to get me a gift. And oh, look at that! He got me my copy of Midsummer.
I knew you wanted it back, and I thought, you know what? It's a time of giving.
You should just legitimately start doing that for Christmas gifts. Is borrow something from someone in like July, and then they'll be so happy to see it. They won't even care that you didn't get them anything.
They won't even remember.
But yeah, and as you can see, it's even certified fresh because.
We care about the opinions of Rotten Tomatoes aggregate users.
Because it matters. Well, this is Lionsgate owned by Warner Brothers? Because or is Lionsgate its own thing? Because A24 is owned by Lionsgate, and that's why you won't see like any other stuff in the Criterion Collection.
Fuckers.
Come on, this is for the Criterion Collection. Now, you open your gift, Steve.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope it's Rotten Tomatoes fresh. 100% on IMDb.com.
I hope it's an awkward size. It doesn't fit on any fucking shelf.
Oh, would you look at that? It's Midsummer, the director's cut.
Yes, filled with just so many images of penises.
Yeah, it's on the spine here.
It's literally, there's just a bunch of dicks on the spine, and that's the spine that faces whoever's looking at your collection. Actually, YMS posted, I guess he built a new shelf for his Blu-rays and put it on Twitter, and that is just tucked in the like top corner. He's like, finally figured out how to store this thing.
It's cool. It has like a little, it has a little thing.
I do like the chapter of like the table of contents, how it just looks like they typed it out really big, and then they're like, oh, we'll make this look more visually appealing there, and then just kept it like that.
Yeah, it's got a little forward by Marty Scorsese talking about how much he fucking hates Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff.
He talks about how much he hates the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how much he loves Strange Thing About the Johnsons. That's our recommendation for the week. Go watch Strange Thing About the Johnsons. We probably recommended that before.
We gotta make a crossover. We gotta make Stranger Things About the Johnsons.
And this is like
Yellow.
I can't tell anybody to buy this because I'm a great salesman for A24. Because, like, if you own this movie and you haven't seen this, you don't really have to.
Yeah.
But like they really should have just put the theatrical version on this as well, because then I could have just like given this away, and then I only need to own one of these things. But now I got to own two things that aren't the same size.
Yeah, it's great.
It's Greg.
It's so Greg.
But
That's so Gregan. Greg sees into the future, and he does, but he cannot see his father respecting him.
But that was a little bit that Steve came up with, and we planned out. And you're welcome, audience at home. But so now, do we want to talk about our favorite? Let's talk about talking.
We already talked about our favorite.
Yes.
We talked about Wizards So.
Yes, the greatest movie ever made.
Definitely.
With the greatest soundtrack. We need to get that soundtrack. I want to play that fucking 5-minute Rat song on the turntable. Hell, it's probably even longer. But I also need to remember to keep an eye on the time, so we have time to go live later. So we have time to do our live leak. But so let's talk about talking hedgehog. That is, not Sonic. This one's worse. This one's a real hedgehog. Means he probably smells like shit.
Oh, he smells so bad, girl.
For those of you who don't know, hedgehogs chew up their own shit and spit it out on their chest and just rub it around. And if you're wondering what the scientific explanation for this is, so are scientists, because nobody knows.
That's why Sonic goes so fast. He's propelled by stink lines.
No, he's just perceived as going fast because everyone clears out of his way. But, so, we watched this movie called Andy the Talking Hedgehog, which I think... I think that one's on Prime too, because
It could be.
Because I think that's how we saw because I remember we saw the poster where he's riding a horse.
Yep.
That doesn't appear. The horse does not appear in the movie. That's way outside that movie's budget.
But we did find out later, because we looked at IMDb, that same guy made like Horse Camp.
Yeah, they say the director made a movie called Horse Camp, and we just stopped paying attention to the movie. Not that that's hard to do.
For multiple reasons.
We stopped paying attention to the movie for a little bit. We're just looking up to find out, is it a movie about horses that go to camp? Do they train horses? Are people at the camp? Spoiler, it's people at a camp, like, to ride horses. It's the stupidest option.
Bullshit.
I wanted centaur people.
I wanted either centaur people, or I wanted like one human horse girl that went to an all-horse like summer camp and she just gets fucking trampled to death or something because she's trying too hard to fit in with the horse girls.
Here's a little mini pitch. Overcoming Differences movie about a horse girl. Like a literal horse girl, just looks like the horse people from Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
Has to integrate into a regular school, and everyone is like real down on her. But she's like, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna be the best I can be. And when the world tells me that I'm gonna keep you down, I'm gonna say, nerd. That was it. That was the joke.
And the Oscar for Best Actress goes to Sarah Jessica Parker.
I was rewatching Ed Wood recently, and I think that might be the first time the Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a horse joke was ever made. Mm-hmm. She's just reading the paper, and she's like, they're reading a bad review, and you don't see what the paper says. She just puts it down. It's like, you're so mean. Do I really look like a horse? But well, please welcome Sarah Jessica Parker onto the podcast. Here she is.
There he is.
Please welcome Eric Estrada onto the podcast. We're pulling all the stops out for our New Year's episode. I'm fine. But we Horse Camp, and that director made Andy the Talking Hedgehog. And do you want to explain the most interesting thing? Well, first let's.
I will explain
what do you consider the most interesting thing about Andy the Talking Hedgehog? We'll see if we both have the same baseline for what's the most interesting thing in that movie.
Well, the fact that you can't fucking hear anything is great.
I guess we have the same thing. I guess that's really the most overwhelming thing about the thing now that I think about it.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that we even found it is because I searched up your name, Andy. I looked up Andy the Hedgehog on Google.
That's right. We were doing the thing where it's just the thing where if you type in your name plus the Hedgehog, a Sonic fan character will come up. But then we did it for me, and we found that. it was on YouTube, and it's entire. That's how we saw the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's not on Prime. I hope it's not on Prime.
It's probably on Prime. Don't put anything on that shit.
Well, they'll put Wizard So-So on it. Well, then again, that's high quality.
Well, yeah, no, that's the outlier.
Yeah, that's better than. They need to make a whole Wizard So-So cinematic, the So-So-verse, the So-So cinematic universe.
The cinematic Universe. They made that work.
But yeah, so you can't hear jack shit in the movie.
Yeah.
I remember being able to kind of make out what some people were saying in the beginning.
Within the first 5 minutes, you could hear something, and then when it gets to Tara Reid in like the alternate universe, it sounds like she's being like recording it in her bathroom because she's under fucking house arrest.
Well, that's the thing. Like when we heard her audio, we're like, oh god, did they record her in her own home? Was she under house arrest? And then. I think that was just to prime you for how the rest of the movie's gonna sound. Because you can't hear anything, and like it's the type of thing where I'm like, okay, maybe somebody got it in a certain way, so like the copy on YouTube sounds like that. But like the way it's mixed, I don't think that's possible, because it's like certain things are on. Like we did it. We were watching it in a much better format than it deserved. We had it up on the projector. We were projecting up on this wall like we like to do, like you like to put your mouths on, like you like to do.
The like.
And so we had it on that with like the full surround sound hooked up, and it really. So I was sitting on one side of this couch, Steve was sitting on the other side, and I just turned to you at one point, and I'm like, what's it like to hear more of the dialogue than I'm hearing right now, or something along those lines, because, like, literally, it was that, like, all the, like, not even, like, just certain instruments and stuff were mixed to the one channel, and then all the dialogue was not only on one channel, but was recorded, like, on a microphone that was in Dean Cain's pocket.
Yeah, it was recorded like a fucking Beatles song.
Yeah, it was. Like, if you go back and listen to old Beatles, Gus Johnson has that one video that's like listening to the Beatles with one headphone, and it's just like half the instruments. But the one song, Hey Bulldog, just all the lyrics are on the one side. And I'm like, if you're listening to this with just one headphone, that's gonna suck. But, so...
As opposed, or even worse, you gotta listen with two.
Yeah. So, you can't understand anything in the movie. Everybody in the movie looks awful.
Yeah, they're all fucking weird mutant people.
Also, everybody's just like, the scene with, like, it's just the same scene over and over again. Someone's like, this hedgehog talks. And people are like, that hedgehog doesn't talk. And then the hedgehog talks, and they're like, the hedgehog talked. And then one girl faints, and another girl takes a picture of her.
And then of herself. Yeah, she takes a picture of the fainted girl. She takes a picture of herself. And then she makes...
Gma.
Yeah. Hashtag bless. Yeah, no, fucking... Okay, so there's a little bit of overlap between both Elfed. There's a common theme here between both Elfed and Talking Hedgehog.
They are a common thief, yes.
Yes, they stole my heart. And fucking 90 minutes of my life altogether. But also...
I'd bang Elfed.
Fuck yeah, I'd bang Elfed. But...
That's part of our new podcast that we're starting. Sorry guys, we're not going to be doing Pitch Shift anymore. It's going to be called Would You Bang Elfhead? It's a game show where we just bring on different guests, show them a picture of Elfhead and go,
yeah, I'd bang Elfhead. No, dude, it's our New Year's resolution.
Yes, to bang Elfhead.
To this fucking Eiffel Tower.
We know, not even the actress or anything, the character specifically.
Yeah, no, we will pay you $5,000 to reprise your role as Elfhead.
Exclusively for sex.
But we have to do it at the North Pole. Not the actual North Pole, but the shitty North Pole
warehouse
set.
North Pole that Elfhead lives at.
Yeah, the fucking closed down Circuit City that you filmed in.
I guess that wasn't just what they needed.
So, so Elfhead, not Elfhead. We'll talk about Andy the Hedgehog, sort of, kind of. But
we can't even pay attention to the movie when we're discussing it.
So yeah, the movies mix like shit.
Why can we never? We only ever watch the things we can't pay attention to, and then we spend the rest of like I don't know if you've ever just been driving home and just been like, oh, do we have like ADHD or something like that, or do we just keep finding these things, or both?
I'm afraid to go to the doctor and find out for real.
The doctor's appointment for that is they just show you Andy the Hedgehog, and however many times you look down at your phone, they just mark it down.
Does this have a tally mark?
Yes, it's just all along the wall.
I have these thoughts as I'm driving to the psychologist, and then I turn around, make a U-turn in the middle of the highway.
On a divided highway. But
so yeah, the one thing in common between aside from being complete pieces of shit, is that they both make a joke. It's only there are one-off joke in each of those movies, where the one cheerleader girl says like, "Oh, this hedgehog is gonna be so fetch" or some shit.
Yeah.
And then the older sister character is like, "Oh yeah, that is so Mean Girls. You can't do that. We got to say something else." And then in Elfette, they say some other joke that was like from some other shitty movie.
Yeah, they did something where it was weird that, and maybe if we watched Wizard So-So long enough, they would have done this too. But it was the great mystery. We'll never know.
No, Wizard So-So is above that. Okay, you don't know him like that.
He just shows up and does the whole Gandalf. No, wait, I think.
Yeah, the Gandalf pipe thing. That was an Elfette.
That was an Elfette. Okay, my heart sank for a minute. I'm like, do we have to bury Wizard So-So?
You're canceled, Wizard So-So.
Has the flawless Bonsai Buddy level animation. If Bonsai Buddy showed up in that fucking movie, it would not have been surprising.
It wouldn't have been out of place, no.
But Clippy's just hopping around in the background. It's just a sequel to Food Fight. That movie looked better than Food Fight.
It did look better than Food Fight.
But that's... I don't know
high
why
marks.
I said that like that's a high... Oh, you really got... If you can look better than Food Fight, you're golden.
I mean, to be fair, that came out in like 2007, Wizard So-So, and Food Fight came out in like 2013. No, 2018, right?
Much later than it should have. But to be fair, also, all the files were stolen in an act of corporate espionage. That's the shittiest spy movie ever. It's like, I'm in. Okay, what'd you get? I got all the raw files to Food Fight.
I got a 3D political model of Mr. Clean.
I got this farting frog. But yeah, so there's this thing that both the movies did, or two of the three movies did.
Yeah.
Where they just like literally steal something from a different movie, and then they're just like, this is from that movie.
Oh, we recognize it. You can't just deflecting. Here's my criticism armor.
It's like when I tried to make that 80s movie and Matt's character was dressed like Marty McFly, and that was the joke. The joke was he was dressed like Marty McFly. Yeah. It's like I wrote that script when I was like a freshman in high school. And they just like it's one thing. I just hate lazy fucking writing. Okay. Like it's like that shit when I think we complained about this in that video we did for Deadpool 2 maybe.
Yeah.
Where like one of the jokes we pointed out was like they keep saying, "Oh, it's lazy writing." It's like, yeah, but the more you point it out, it just points out it's lazy writing. It stops being a joke eventually.
Yeah, but Deadpool 2 is actually funny though.
Yeah, Deadpool 2 is better than the first one.
Yeah.
And I like that it is one of several movies I own. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's one of several movies I own that come with like a fake children's book.
Nice.
The other one being Gone Girl, and the Gone Girl one's great because it's the perfect example of something that if you just read it and you don't know anything about Gone Girl, it's like, oh, it's like an innocent little child's book. And then if you've seen Gone Girl, you're like, oh, that's fucking sinister as hell. Yeah. Because it basically ends with like, it's like a children's book about Amazing Amy, who's like the main or the Gone Girl in Gone Girl. It's like, oh, Amazing Amy does this, she does this, she does this, but Amazing Amy broke a vase or whatever, so she knew what she had to do. It's like, oh, she's got to tell the truth. But then she blames it on the dog. It's like, because after all, she is perfect and everything. Yeah. It's the type of thing where it's like, if you just read that, you're like, that's a weird moral. But if you read it watching the movie, you're like, ah.
Yeah, read between the lines.
Like, this woman's been fucked for a while.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
Go watch Gone Girl.
Yeah, spend 3.5 hours of your time watching a good movie as opposed to 3 shitty movies.
Yes, spend
Or two shitty movies and then one
And a
fucking
masterpiece.
amazing. Yeah. One fucking tour de force.
But yeah, so as we were saying, you can't hear shit in Andy the Talking Hedgehog. They do that shit where it's just reference a movie, and but then point it out, so it's okay.
And then Alfred does that as well when she like picks up some fucking guy who's trying. I couldn't tell if he was having like a Boston accent, trying to do a British accent, or vice versa.
Everybody in that movie seems like somebody that would corner you in a subway.
Yeah, the restaurant.
Like the guy who had that like Christmas warehouse or whatever the hell that place was. He just reminded me of the potion seller guy. Yeah. Like just anytime he did anything, I'm like, you can't handle my potions.
My Christmas cheer will kill a dinosaur, let alone a man.
By the way, we'll talk more about Alpha later, but a big part of the plot in Alpha is they need to find something called the twinkle meter. But it only ever says like they're saying twinko meter.
Yeah, and it was probably just to find other twinks because she did find the other twink. And
she found both those twinks. So.
Yeah. And then she poisoned one.
Well, one might have been more of an otter. He had a bit of facial hair.
Well, yeah, one was definitely more like a power bottom. The other one was for sure a twink.
Well, you could be a power bottom and you could be a twink. And you could welcome to the podcast where we discuss the ins and outs of
bear and twinkdom.
Well, do you know what an otter is? I was told this because I worked with a very gay man, and he was like, "You'd be an otter."
I've worked in degeneracy and homosexuality and homoeroticism.
All right, yeah, you worked in a porn shop.
I did,
but
a porn shop in which homosexuals would meet up on Craigslist and Grindr.
But
so I've heard the term. I have not delved any further into the term, much like how the otters would delve into the other otters' assholes.
Well, an otter
probably. I don't know how they work.
An otter, from what I understand, is basically an otter is a skinny bear, like hairy but not big. So I guess
not a big old guy with a big burly beard spanking his bare butt back and balls.
But yes, so that's maybe we'll just make this the shift show segment, just talking about the ins and outs of gay sex.
This is the entire episode.
I cut out everything but that. Merry New Year's. But yes, so. Do we talk about speaking of gay men? Do we talk about the two people who keep trying to steal the hedgehog and keep falling on top of each other and keep getting information from a talking scrotum who might also be the voice of Andy? It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe that's why you can't hear anything in the movie, because they're like, oh shit, they're gonna realize I did like all these voices.
That is exactly it. Okay, so long story short, Tara Reid gives a little girl the power to be schizophrenic. She can talk to animals.
She can talk to animals,
trees,
plants,
like something else.
I think she can talk to like the wind or something.
Some shit like that. She can talk to animals and plants. I know that for sure.
And cheerleaders. Who just keep showing up.
Yeah, and the one cheerleader.
And then the mom shows up as a cheerleader.
Yeah, Dean Cain saves the day by
Dean Cain saves the day by getting depression.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
He suffers a full psychotic break and just keeps eating potato chips.
Because generic like store brand potato chips.
Sometimes from a bag, sometimes on a plate.
Most of the time on a plate, and then he bumps into like one of the. Okay, so there are two guys. They are just like criminals that dress like, and they're in boiler suits, and they go from house to house, cleaning gutters, and like in order to scope it out to rob the house. Probably
is that what they were doing? They were gutter clean. Like that was their cover.
I think so, because they had a ladder and no other tools. They had ladders and boiler suits. There's a big burly black guy who talks like fucking. He looks like Patrice O'Neal, and he talks like Mike Tyson.
He talks like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, he talks like Curly.
And he does, like, at one point, he even does... so there's this movie made by the guy... You ever heard of the movie Amelie?
Yeah.
There's a movie made by the guy who made that called Micmacs, where... I enjoy it, it's fine. But the main character is a guy who, like, he got, like... there was like a shooting and he has like a bullet lodged in his head or something.
Yeah.
He gets like released from the hospital or whatever. And one of the first things he does is he just starts doing this to a kid. Like, I guess because the kid stole something of his or something. And he does that to distract the kid to get closer to him and then like take it back.
Nice.
And that dude does it at one point in the movie.
Yeah.
And I just really want to be like, that's from Micmacs. I knew nobody, even though we weren't recording this and we were the only ones in the room, like, no one's going to understand what the fuck this reference is. Now you kind of get it. You can go watch that if you want. I don't care. That dude made Alien Resurrection, where Sigourney Weaver fucking tongues an alien that looks like that has a skull face. I go back and forth with which one I hate more, that or Alien 3.
Like Alien 3, like at least had a cool initial draft. Alien 4 had no saving it. Wait, Fincher was like directed 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like disowned it. Like,
Yeah.
3 is at least tonally consistent.
Well, yeah, before that he did like fucking music videos and shit, right?
Oh, yeah. And that was like his first big thing. And
Yeah.
And Fox was like, oh, we just want someone who will do what we'll say. And David Fincher's like, ha, that's not what I'm gonna do. And then he hated the movie.
Yeah.
But I think they made like one of the first drafts into like a comic recently.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check that out because I think it was one of the more interesting drafts. It might have been the one with like the wooden planet.
Yeah.
There was one where there was like the whole like everything but the core of the planet I think was like made of wood and it was like a prison or something, and that eventually trickled into like her being on the prison planet.
I felt like I was on a prison planet watching those shitty movies.
Yeah, that's I've often. Because I've seen that like Alien anthology box set a few times. I've been like, I should buy that. But then I look over at those and like the Alien and Aliens Blu-ray I have, like they're really nice editions. They have all this supplemental shit. I have no reason to get any of those other movies. I own those and I own Prometheus and those are the ones I like. So fuck it.
Yeah, fuck them.
It's kind of like how I really want to get that Scream Factory collection of all the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
Because it's that kind of thing where I also want to get that Blu-ray collection of all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies because it's that type of thing where it's like, if I just buy the ones I like...
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you could, but if you buy the whole franchise, then you could have an excuse to own some bad movies, like, you have spent money, because that's always my thing, is like, it'd be nice to own some movies that are more so just fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I don't want to spend money on something that's not great, like, oh, we gotta put it on for shits and giggles.
But you don't want to buy those other movies because you know it's like get unmatched with people on Tinder.
Yes, exactly. Did I tell you about the time I matched with a girl on Bumble? And literally one of the first goddamn things she said to me was like, oh, I don't know how she pieced this together, but she was like, oh, I see you like The Last Jedi. Are we going to have a problem? And I'm like, well, if you say weird shit like that, then probably.
Yeah, that's your opener.
I'm like, this shit happens to me all the goddamn time, and I don't know if it's because I do reviews or what, but that people just think they could just randomly message me out of the blue and be like, hey, I disagree with you on this thing. It's like, thanks, I fucking asked.
You brought it on yourself, dude.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I see it in comments a lot where, like, I don't want to. The people who comment on my videos are lovely. I want to make that clear. But like,
Especially the porn bots.
Especially the porn bots. Shout out to the one who's already commented on this video.
Come on, Andy. We all know that you're just making those statuses on Facebook because you're hoping to get the hopes of this one girl up who also really liked The Last Jedi. And you're trying to simp after her hardcore, and the hopes that you guys will make Last Jedi fucking fanfics porno.
Like that one guy who said I was white knighting someone in the Ari Aster group because I just asked him why he was being a prick.
Yeah, and he's like, it's like she's married.
Well, yeah, he was like, you just you're just white knighting because you blah 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 about this girl. I'm like, she's married for one, and two, I don't want to be mean, but nah. Well, that was where I realized I think you can win a lot of internet arguments if you just try to appeal to someone's humanity and be like, you okay, dude? Because that's at the end of it, I was just like, seriously, you all right? Like, I get it. We're all like stuck inside, and like you like on the internet, you know, you have that anonymous like release of saying shit as opposed to when you have to say something to someone in person and register their facial reactions.
Yeah,
like,
neuron activation.
Yeah, like I basically return to monk. But like I basically, because I don't care about fucking arguing with people on the internet, especially in a fucking group that's already fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like so like I just
three people that watch the same movie 100 times.
So many of those posters. Just like, look, guys, I own the movie on 2 different copies. Some people in that goddamn group own it on like 4. They're like, I bought the South Korean edition too, and some of those, like, these are at least, my justification for this was like, at least that's a different edition, but some of these are literally just cosmetic.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm all about cosmetic shit. Like, I updated my American Werewolf in London just because I wanted the nicer one.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I like how I just go off all rant about how I don't care what other people do and then just be like, why are people doing this?
I don't get it.
Welcome to the Hypocrisy Podcast. If I shave my head, I can become the nostalgia critic.
No, see, Andy, you doing that thing from Andy the Talking Hedgehog where after you do something, you just, like, deflect and you're like, oh, it's okay, though.
If we say it afterwards, then no one can criticize us.
Exactly.
So back to Andy the Talking Hedgehog.
Yes. So
I'm not Andy the Talking Hedgehog. The movie be worse, I think, if I was.
if it was just about a kid.
Yes, a 26-year-old kid. But no, I think if I was the hedgehog, it'd be like, fuck it. Andy the Hedgehog 2, call me up. I'm not doing anything. I'll pretend I don't fucking hate Dean Cain long enough.
No, you don't have to be in the same room as him. Your fursona.
No,
has
he's
to be.
producing.
Oh, okay.
He's the only reason that movie happened, probably.
Okay, so that movie was made by Jeffrey T. Morgan. No, not Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Jeffrey T. Morgan. He edited it. And then we have...
It'd be amazing if it was made by Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That'd be the funniest fucking thing in the world. No, Joe Paul Reisig or
That's
some
right.
shit.
I remember that guy's name.
He directed, produced, and starred as the titular talking hedgehog.
Oh, see, thank God you brought this up because, I was worried about not recording this. I'm like, that'd be something good to have. But at the end of it, I'm mainly regretful of that just for the Wizard So-So reaction because that would have been great to capture. But you bringing that up did jog my memory. I remember at the end, that guy's name came up, and like we had already seen him as like doing most of the shit, and then as the voice of Andy the Hedgehog, and then we just had that moment like, oh, that fucking, now something makes sense.
Yeah.
And it was that same moment we had when we watched Devil All the Time. At the very end, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, narrated by the guy who wrote the book.
He also narrated our voice over that fucking scrotum cat. And when they showed, okay, so they showed a picture.
It's so awful.
They showed a picture of each, like, they did like a little, like, they showed a picture of the director first off.
Yeah, they just showed pictures of it. They showed their headshots in the credits. I've never seen anything do that.
Yeah, for the actors, that makes sense. Like, they showed a little scene, and then, like, they had, like, the actor's, like, name as a credit. And then they did that for Dean Cain for a scene that just happened, like, 2 minutes prior.
Yeah. They didn't want to go through all their Dean Cain footage because they punched their computer.
And then they showed it.
Fuck Dean Cain.
All my homies hate Dean Cain, dude. Fuck Dean Cain.
I love that one John Mulaney joke where it's like, I was watching Law and Order and Dean Cain was a rapist on the show.
So they showed pictures of the director of photography, and then they showed like stock footage of a hedgehog that wasn't even the same hedgehog. And it's like Joe Paul Reisig or whatever the fuck his name is as Andy the Hedgehog, and also as the weird scrotum cat that tried to kill Andy the Hedgehog.
And they like,
and it wasn't even the same cat. It showed a different cat in like a fucking on the top of a New York apartment or some shit.
Well, it's confusing because they show a different cat that looks nothing like that. They're both hairless cats, but it looks nothing like that first one. This one's balls are always just resting on its feet. It looks even more disgusting than the other one somehow. I've seen some like hairless cats that are actually kind of cute. They found the 2 worst ones they could find. Like, I remember the first time we saw it in the movie, we're like, is that cat on set or is that stock footage? Did they find the worst stock footage they could find? Like, oh, we need something scary, put a cat. But then the cat keeps showing up, and then later other people hold it. So that, no, they Somebody owns that awful creature.
Including the robbers. The robbers held the cat.
The robbers are holding the cat most of the time.
And then they're like, okay, you gotta get out of the house. As they're holding the cat.
The whole movie is excuses to get people in and out of the house. I think. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure the cat's like, hey, you guys go out and you'll find another hedgehog. And the guy's like, oh, we'll go out and they'll find another hedgehog.
Yeah, the two gay lovers that happen to be robbers.
One is old Mario. One would not be out of place in like a Logan style like Super Mario Brothers movie. Like Luigi's dead.
And the other is Patrice O'Neal, who looks like Miss Potato Head. And they both, like, he's like the dumb idiot one. He's like the mimsy, okay? And the old guy is like, oh, like, first they're like gutter cleaners, and they're also trying to like make a band where the old guy plays the harmonica and the other guy plays the burp.
But why did no one bat an eye when they come into the house?
Because they're, after they were like groundskeepers, apparently they said they were termite guys, and then the mom's like, okay.
Someone just shows up at your house and they're like, oh, we're here to fix your problems. Where's the hedgehog?
Yeah.
But you got a stinky hedgehog.
I got the whip and the dancing hedgehog.
I was walking by outside. I saw, must be a hedgehog nearby. I got my stupid friend here. He's gonna do some of this.
Oh, that hedgehog would be a nuts in my cannoli. So they were on the ladder so they could figure out, they're like, okay, we'll steal the hedgehog because the hedgehog can talk.
That's the only reason.
But at this point in the movie, other people know the hedgehog can talk, and they know that other animals can talk.
Yes.
So why the fuck did they not want to steal the cat? They knew the cat could talk because the cat was like, hey, get rid of this hedgehog. I want him gone too. So they had a mutual enemy. Why would they just steal the fucking cat? They also know that they can talk to plants. They can steal any animal.
They're going through so much trouble to steal this hedgehog at the advice of another talking animal. God damn it. So long story short, it's the greatest fucking movie ever made. It's better than Sonic.
Well, it's the greatest screenplay ever made because you can't hear shit in the entire goddamn movie. It's the stock music just it's like the donkey video where he's calling the guy and just keep turning the volume up.
That's literally, we said that. And I feel like it gets worse as it goes on.
Yeah, it definitely does because as you said, it's legible at first. Then Tara Reid gets there and it's just fucking downhill from there. Not just because Tara Reid enters the screen.
Also, Tara Reid's being like, oh, we need to talk about what she said about it. But Tara Reid, we'll close out our discussion with that. But
yeah.
Tara Reid is just answering to some guy who I don't know if his role's ever explained.
Yeah, he's Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince, and he's
I
like
think
God.
He's God, yeah.
Yeah, and he like she gives him power. She gives the little girl powers in order to talk to animals or some shit.
Does she give her powers, or could she just do that?
She can just do that
Because she could already hear the hedgehog, I think, or the hedgehog was already talking, but nobody could hear him.
Well, the hedgehog not only talks, but he narrates the movie, and he pads out this already like 70-minute long movie they just freeze frame on people in the fucking best frame they could possibly freeze on, where it looks like people are stroking out.
That's right. Everything ends just in a freeze frame. Like, you know how some movies end in a freeze frame? Every goddamn scene in this movie ends in a freeze frame.
And
I'm spitting. I'm so angry.
Spitters are quitters, bro. So.
We didn't quit. We watched that whole goddamn movie.
Girl.
If anything, we're quitters of Wizard So-So.
Oh, we are fucking cowards. Everyone loves a coward. So
welcome to our new podcast. Everyone loves a coward.
So yeah, it's the spin-off to Everyone Loves Raymond. So Uncle Phil / God gives Tara Reid a job in heaven or some shit to be like the fairy best friend forever.
To make up for her community service.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to make up for him like leaving us in our time of need, when we needed him most, Uncle Phil vanished. But he had to do more important things like give Tara Reid powers.
Hedgehogs, wizards, elves, something else. Long ago, the four nations lived in harmony.
Everything changed when Uncle Phil left us. When we needed him most.
When we needed Uncle Phil the most, he was nowhere to be found.
DJ Jazz Jeff attacked.
But I believe that one day he will return.
So Uncle Phil gives Tara Reid powers, and she immediately abuses them. And then he turns her into a frog as punishment for about 5 seconds. And then she's like, no, not again. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought you just got this job. Why was he turning you into frogs before you got this job?
That's his job.
Was he like your sugar daddy? And then like he turned you into frogs just to get off?
He's her bog daddy. Turns her into a frog, throws her in a bog. Oh, by the way, I got a Facebook memory today that was after I'd seen Hateful Eight. I said, Hateful Eight's great, mate. I'd rate 8 out of 8. I saw it late, but I'd like to see it again on another date.
I wish you would have done that for the Ridiculous Six.
Just saw Ridiculous Six, and Nick's Cricks, I want to be hit with a stick. I watched the Knicks and hit me with a stick. But
I watched the Knicks and send me down the river Styx.
But so before we just, because we could talk about this movie for fucking an eternity. But let's close this off and get on to Elfhat. Let's close this off with what Tara Reid. I don't know if you have the Wikipedia open.
Oh yeah, I remember what she said though.
But yeah, let's talk about what Tara Reid said about the movie, because this movie has several posters. None of them are accurate to what happens in the movie, but one of the most inaccurate is it has Andy the Hedgehog, or maybe just a hedgehog.
A hedgehog.
Riding a horse. I'll just leave a minute for that to sink in.
He's like holding on to dear life.
He's holding on to nothing.
and he's like 3 times the size of a child. And he's holding on to like this horse's tail, and the horse like has no expression, and he's yucking it up. And then like in the background, there's like a semi-opaque images of like Dean Cain and Tara Reid in the clouds.
Yeah. And not even Dean Cain from the movie. That's like just like that's a actually,
or Tara Reid from the movie.
Yeah, those are just headshots. Again, they're getting a lot of use out of those heads. Like, do you imagine the directors just calling up? It's like, hey, can you send me your headshots? What for? I was already in the movie. Yeah, I need to make the credits. What? But yeah, so Tara Reid shared one of these posters. I don't know which one it was Twitter. Specifically. I hope it's the horse one. And the Wikipedia for this just says, like, she acknowledged the poster was bad and said that she's not taking the movie seriously. Which is great marketing.
That's amazing, dude.
I don't know why studios spend like twice the budget of a movie on marketing when they could just have Tara Reid share the poster of the movie and go, hey, this is fucking bad. Look at this.
Wish they would have done that shit for Aquaman.
Well, it's like
or like any MCU, like any Spider-Man MCU poster.
Well, did you see? Oh God, those are all bad.
Yeah.
But did you see that? It was in that one Ralph the Movie Maker video. I think it might have been his more recent Bruce Willis video, where he shows that clip of the interview of Frank Grillo talking about Reprisal, where he's like, "I was a paycheck. That's a shitty movie."
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I never know what vibe to get off that guy, but I saw that and I'm like, you seem like you're okay.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's probably the only reason I like The Purge 2, because I don't think I like any of those other movies, but The Purge 2 is the one time where it's like, that's the closest you've come to getting that shit right.
Yeah.
Because like, it's like, the first one's a home invasion movie, but the second one's like, oh, what if some people just broke down their car and the Purge started happening? It's like, that's a much better idea.
Yeah. I saw this one like meme about that where it's like, what you gotta explain that shit the next day. It's like, oh, where's Bob from accounting? Oh yeah, about that.
Got purged. Well, I feel like at a certain point, people would just assume.
Yeah.
Just like, Bob hasn't come into work for a while. Guess he got purged. It'd be super easy to disappear then.
Yeah.
Just like, you could just stop showing up the day after the purge and everyone would assume you just got purged. But, yeah, because I remember Frank Grillo, he, like, spoiled that he was going to be in Endgame or something like that. And when he said it, he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be in any more of those movies, so I can say whatever I want. And I'm like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, on the one hand, like, it sucks if people wanted to, like, go in without that knowledge, but on the other hand, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Frank Grillo's fucking base, dude.
We should get Frank Grillo on the podcast.
We should.
He just seems like a nice guy. And, watch in a few years when I have to take this video down and re-edit it because he's been convicted of something horrible, because that is always what happens in Hollywood.
You fucking dispense jinx.
It only happens when I specifically... You don't know this, but years ago I was just like, Kevin Spacey, watch out for him. Harvey Weinstein, watch out for him. Except I could have said that because people knew about that for ages before it became an issue.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry is horrible.
Yeah, that's why we want to be a part of it so bad.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else is going to Epstein Island. I don't want to get left out.
Yeah, it's like, well, I am morally opposed to this, but you know, when in Rome.
Literally, because everyone in Rome's a bunch of fucking pedophiles.
I mean, that's probably where Epstein got his whole identity. He's just Commodus. He's just lived for this long.
No, that was just LARPing.
Yes.
He does look like a fat fucking Greco-Roman fucking
He
emperor.
looks like he could play Caesar. Well,
Yeah.
He doesn't look like anything now.
He looks like Nero, yeah.
He really looks like Nero now. He looks like every Roman right now. But
Is he really dead?
I don't know.
No, he'll fucking live forever. He'll probably paid off he probably sucked so much fucking cock in jail that he'll never have to worry about getting the shit kicked out of him again.
Here's the thing, is prior to like a certain administration, I didn't believe in conspiracy theories at all. I'm like, that's just, you're connecting like A to B in the craziest possible way. But now I'm just like, yeah, fucking anything's possible.
Yeah.
Like certain things that seemed outlandish just a few years ago make total sense now. The fucking government pretty much confirmed there were aliens and we didn't do jack shit about it because we're just like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit anymore. Like, it's so fucking... The real world is beyond parody. You cannot do satire. Comedy is dead. Stand-ups, your heroes are all pedophiles or sex criminals.
Well, that's why I hate when everyone's like, oh, The Simpsons predicted this or predicted that. It's like, The Simpsons have not predicted jack shit. The Simpsons have always made jokes about the stupidest possible thing that could happen, and then our reality was like, yeah, that. Let's do that.
Life truly does imitate art.
Well, my favorite part is the people are like, oh, but what about that episode where, like, Homer's behind Trump on that escalator? It's like, that came out after that happened. You goddamn more. Like,
Yeah.
if someone made that before that happened,
Yeah.
like, we would freak, like, that you'd hear about that on the goddamn news. People, like, specifically down to the elevator and the people holding signs. It's like that someone could predict that happen specifically. I hate the internet so goddamn much. It's like those people who, like the Daily Show, go out to like Trump rallies and interview people.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you want to know? It's like, I want to know why Obama wasn't in office on 9/11.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you think Obama wasn't in office on 9/11? Well, that's what I want to find out. It's like, it's like, I have no doubt in my mind that that's a genuine, like, they didn't gouge that man. I have no doubt that's a genuine thing that man said. But also, like, that dude was in, like, his 50s.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe meth just erased the past, like, however many years, but...
It's just to be a contrarian, dude. With that kind of stuff.
Well, that's a big thing. That's a big thing about that whole thing, is I think a lot of people, like, plenty of people were being shitty, but I think a lot of people were just like, I'm going to be the contrarian asshole, which is annoying, but I think a lot of people got lumped in with, like, shitty people because of that.
Yeah.
When really they were just trying to be pricks.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there's a difference between a prick and a monster.
Absolutely.
But that's a whole separate topic, and we do have to eventually stream on New Year's. So we should now talk about, of course, you know, the thing that we've been talking about. We've been hinting about it so much. We're going to talk about Wizard So-So again. So here's my theory for why Wizard So-So exists. But now let's talk about Elfette, which we have already been talking about throughout the episode and don't have much more to say on than we've already said. But it is still batshit insane. I feel bad for it that it came after after Wizard So-So. I think I was just dead to anything that could have possibly happened.
Okay, so there's like the elf ripoff aspect of it where she has to go to New York, but the journey to get to New York. Okay, so you know that beginning of Elf.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's that for all of about like 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's like the last 20 minutes of the movie. But before that, like the entire like first 2 acts are her trying to get to there from like Florida.
The worst place.
And so like she like picks up some hitchhiker who like has the Gandalf pipe gag, which is like, wow, that's literally Gandalf's pipe. And he's like, yeah. And then like it's like, wow, nice deflection of criticism. And like she stops at the gas station where she somehow knows how to drive.
She knows how to drive. That's literally I just started staring off into space because I suddenly remembered that she knew how to drive, but she didn't know how to put gas in her car.
Yeah, she tried to put it in the seat, and then like this other like mall elf was like,
yeah, this other elf showed up. It was like, here's what you do. And then I think that elf shows up as a villain later?
no, a different elf from the North Pole
All
is the
those
villain.
women look the same. They all look like Lauren Lapkus.
Yeah, they all look like they're mall elves. And then, so there's this one guy from the mob. By the way, the mob's kidnapped Santa. I don't know if we mentioned.
Christmas Mafia.
No, they're the New York mob, but they hate Christmas because the main mob guy didn't get the rocket ship he wanted.
No, I think they called them the Christmas Mafia at
I
one
think the
point.
collective of the toy company and the mob together are a new super like Illuminati type group called the Christmas Mafia.
I think Elfette was written by George Lucas. And he may have went too far in a few places.
I think he didn't go far enough.
Wait,
Fucking coward.
Gonna little pitch break as I have to fucking swap out memory cards. Because
It's true.
For once, we have because I have some Christmas presents. Thank you to the people who got these for me. We no longer have to wait for batteries to run out. We have to wait for memory cards to run out now.
Thank fuck. We will reach a perfect equilibrium. So, the mob kidnaps Santa at the behest of some like Floridian toy company, and there's this one guy who's chasing after Elfette to stop her, and she stops off at like some Georgian fucking pancake house, and this one guy who has like who's basically Dave
The
Navarro.
country, Georgia, not the state.
Yeah, no, she saw. Well, yeah,
She's eating pancakes and bombs are going off.
yeah, but enough about the state. So. So she stops off at like this fucking Waffle House, and Dave Navarro's her waiter, and then she's like you're not supposed to eat her friend's like, you're not supposed to eat human food. She's like, yeah, whatever. And then like this guy Joey Salad
shows up.
He's like the best hitman, and he is like in the kitchen dressed like a chef, and he has like a big green vial, and he has with a P on it, and he has a big red vial with a P on it. It's like, oh geez,
I got peppermint and poison. I can't remember which is which.
It's like, why would you be carrying peppermint on you, and why would you just dump both onto the fucking pancake? It's like that joke from Billy and Mandy where like the marshmallow guy's like, you want horrific hazelnut scream, chocolate hazelnut kill, or antidote. And then like he's like watching like, yeah, and then like she eats all the pancakes and like falls
all
asleep.
the while resisting the urge to drink his own piss or put your shit in a friend's shampoo bottle or run for Congress.
Yeah. Like I joked that like he had the 2 vials together. It's like, I can't remember which one was my shit and which one was my piss.
That man ran for Congress. Well, there's just videos readily available on the internet of him drinking his own piss.
Well, at least he puts those videos up himself.
That's true. Like I think he's taking the Trump approach of if I embarrass myself, then you can't embarrass me.
So Joey Salad is chasing after Elfette. The whole movie. Then there's like another dumb idiot fucking mob guy. He's like, hey boss.
I'm probably gonna have just the 2 of them behind us, just so you can see how close these men truly look.
They're literally the same character. It doesn't matter. And then like you got like this fat schlubby mob boss guy who's like kidnapping Santa and torturing him. And then like allegedly they killed Mrs. Claus.
I think.
Like they throw her in a glacier or something?
Well, because the dumb guy has a, like, fantasy where he's intelligent.
And then the fucking Santa is like, you job-ass turkey, and then he shoots both.
Santa rips off the ropes.
Which he can get out at any time.
He could do that in the real world. This isn't exclusive to the fantasy. They're, like, tied up here. So he just shows
He's able to talk on the phone. He's able to call Elvet.
It's like it's all those videos where the person will be like, I got my hand stuck, and they'll be like, here, use this, and they'll take the hand and grab the, like, soap, and the people will be like, but yeah, Santa straight up says, you jive turkeys, and then fires at them with a shotgun. So, like, at first it's kind of like, oh, it's cool, Black Santa, that's something, like, it's an interesting way, and then they do that, and it's like, oh, maybe just the character's racist, I hope.
I don't know who was having that fantasy. I don't know if it was was it the dumb guy?
Was it Santa?
So, and then in the real world, the mom guy shoots Elfet's friend.
Yeah.
And then she just shakes it off.
Yeah, she's just fine.
There's no blood. Doesn't matter.
There's no blood. There's peppermint.
There is peppermint. There's so much peppermint.
Yeah, and just like they go to save Santa, she finds out she's been betrayed by her friend. I don't know which friend betrayed her. I think it's the mall elf that told her how to fuel her car.
It was the one in the beginning at the Radio Shack North Pole that told her she was shit and she can't do anything right.
Well, there's also. There's an elf that lives in Florida.
Yeah, she's like the spy girl. She has the board with Pepe Silvia all over it.
Yeah, she's tracing everything and doing all this detective work.
And then she looks at a headshot of her mom.
Yes, everybody's just, what is it with bad movies? And they're like, we need a picture of someone. Their headshot will do fine. Like, I was watching Wonder Woman 84, which, spoilers, I will be recommending later, despite me kind of making fun of it right now. But, every single picture in that movie, like Diana has a lot of framed pictures, and every single one of them is the worst Photoshop job I have ever seen. There's a part later in the movie where Chris Pine looks at this picture of her, and it's not only is it clear she's Photoshopped into where she's standing, it's also clearly post-made black and white to look older. And you see it, and I just turned over to my dad, I'm like, oh no, she's gonna have to explain Photoshop to him now. Also, there's a very interesting part in that movie where the whole way that Chris Pine can come back despite dying in the last movie is his consciousness is in someone else's body pretty much. It's like a Quantum Leap situation.
I'm retarded.
and basically he just wakes up in this guy's body, and there's a point later in the movie, it's like, oh, we need to do this, but we can't get you on a plane because you don't have a passport. And I was just immediately like, did that guy not have a passport? Did you forget he showed up in an already existing guy's body? Is that guy a criminal? And then at the end of the movie, that guy shows back up, and it's kind of like Diana has this moment of oh, maybe I can learn to love again. Sort of they don't go too far with it, which I really liked. But it is also this moment of she should be like, hey, why don't you have a passport, and why did I know that automatically?
Because Wonder Woman's a better detective than fucking Batman in this universe.
Anybody seen the Joker?
Well, yeah, there was that one thing in the Batman v Superman movie where it's oh, did you call her? It's I thought you did.
Yeah, is she with you? I thought she was with you. You emailed her, Batman.
Anyone seen the Joker?
I do give Zack Snyder credit for one thing, and that he finally gave us a side of Batman we truly haven't seen before. Dumbass Batman. But, and we do need to, we're getting close to.
Yeah, it's already 11:30.
But so we'll be quick, and maybe we'll just end up talking about this again when we go live anyway. But yeah, basically that's all there is to Elfette. It starts off as a ripoff of Elf, and then it just becomes something else entirely. There's two separate men who look like Joey Salads, and the only distinguishing factor is one of them's slightly more jacked.
And one slightly more stupid.
Yes, and the main Joey Salads guy is slightly more cockeyed.
Yeah.
Or not cockeyed, cross-eyed. He's got the one lazy eye. I don't mean to make fun of the man, but you were also an Elfette, so I don't give a shit. If I ever show up in something like Elfette, you can make fun of me all you want. You already can. I want to make that clear because that's how the world works. You can do that already. But if I'm in Elfette, then it's automatically excused.
Yeah, I wouldn't subject myself and stoop so low as to be in something like Elfette. You can make fun of Andy all you want.
Steve would be in the porn parody.
I will be in Elfuck.
Elfuck. But
whoa, princess! You sure you want to fuck this elf, Prince Aldi over here? Wouldn't you rather be more evil?
Instead of pulling out a Gandalf pipe, he pulls out just a dildo that's shaped like that. It's like, that's Gandalf's dildo.
That's like, Gandalf's dick.
But
says Ian McKellen.
The song about my weird dick.
Didn't do it for you.
But anyway, so those are some movies we watched, and they weren't. Two of them weren't great, and one of them was exactly as great as it had to be.
In that moment,
and we'll never finish it.
No.
Ever.
Because you cannot top perfection.
I want to do a bad movie touch where it's just called Good Movie Touch, and we just talk about that movie. And we just just everything, and then we stop it as soon as the mouse song's over.
Yes. Thank you for watching and sticking with us for these past few months.
Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking by even when our audio has been shit and our green screen has been pixelating into our own heads. And maybe this will be better. We should be getting episodes out with a lot less hassle now, thanks to I have a better editing system now. And we're also... hopefully, since I can run some games now, we're probably going to be, maybe streaming some games in the future. We're hopefully going to be doing more commentaries. We've got a lot of fun things that we will do in 2021 and act like we planned them from the start and didn't just say like a day beforehand, hey, you want to do this stupid thing? But in all honesty, thank you so much, guys, for being here with us and for being on this ride with us. This was not a great year.
It was the fucking worst.
It was not a great year. But having something like this to do and to just shoot the shit and just sort of get our minds off stuff for a little bit, it's really mean the world. And on top of being therapeutic, the fact that you guys are out there listening to it really does mean so much. And that we have so many, already we have so many great fans like Pornbot69, who comments on every single video. I think at one point, I don't think I posted, but I think at one point I said, like, you're our most loyal fan, Pornbot. But,
and then she's like, I love you, like, big time.
But one of the ones she said, hey, boys. And I'm like, so you do not, so something is watching us and going, there's two of them.
It's the NSA.
Yeah, it's Agent Lynch. But we'll explain that at some point. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. It really does mean the world. I say this a lot in my videos, and it always sounds phony then, but it's always genuine there, and it's genuine here. It really does mean a lot that we have people watching us and enjoying us and showing us that we're not. Well, we're still crazy, but that other people are crazy as well.
I'm not crazy.
So thank you so much. I hope you had a great new year. This won't be going up until at least the 1st. So I should not mention a date because that's just it comes out in March and I'm like, shit, I didn't say which the 1st. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Really means a lot, and we are excited to bring you so much more Pitch Shift goodness in 2021. I almost said 2013, because mentally I'm still kind of stuck in 2012. There's like a part of me that hasn't advanced past that. And we were still in high school, so that's bad.
We peaked in 2012.
We peaked in 2012. We were saving in case the world ended. We're like, we got to peak now, or we won't be able to peak.
I haven't I haven't begun to peak.
Steve threw up the microphone. As he one day threw up the universe, he is the turtle and I am the clown, or the spider, whatever coke Stephen King was on in the 80s. But thank you so much for listening and watching, guys, and thank you to all our wonderful listeners on the audio platforms, and thank you to all our wonderful viewers on our platforms here, except you, porn bot.
Especially you.
Well, I'm going to say the porn bot can go fuck itself, because then I know that they haven't watched this far, because they're going to comment like, great work, boys, but you didn't watch this far, because I just got you.
Nerd.
But seriously, Susan Wojcicki, or whatever the hell your name is, what the fuck's with all these porn bots? They just keep popping up. Ooh, boy. Get rid of those, please. There are kids on this website, including us, people who are
25 and 26.
25 and 26, but mentally about 12. So anyway, thank you so much again. Sorry that I've said that about 40 fucking times now, and we'll be going live shortly. So if you have watched that already, and you're now watching this, because that's how time will have progressed, then you know why we stopped recording this. Goodbye.
Well said.
Toast. Goodbye, 2020.